Hello, everybody. Today, I want to welcome you to our eighth episode of Header Footer Presents. This time, we are going to be talking about random things that have been happening in the news, in the art world. Things like AI, recognition of minority artists, and NFTs, because apparently they're back in some form. Anyhow, but first, let's do our acknowledgements. So the Header Footer Gallery is part of the New Media Caucus and is dedicated to promoting the creative output of our members by situating their work in thoughtfully curated exhibitions that take place across our entire web presence. New Media Caucus is an international non-profit association formed to promote the development and understanding of new media art. We represent and serve artists, designers, practitioners, historians, theorists, educators, students, and scholars. Recognizing new media art to be inherently multidisciplinary, multimodal, and evolving, we support and advance a wide range of inquiry to catalyze further evolution of the field. The New Media Caucus is committed to extending and sustaining the diversity of our community, board, and membership to promote an environment of equal inclusion and respect for difference. We prioritize inclusion as an ongoing collaborative process of growth that we continually address, both within the caucus and in our field. Okay, so first of all, Constanza is not going to be with us today because she's been finalizing her PhD, and anybody that's been through that knows that the last few months are a nightmare. And Harshini has been also with like 7,000 projects. So both of them could not make it for this episode. So you have to stick with me. Now, moving on to our first item. This is a really interesting one. So for those of you that don't know what this is an artwork by Felix Gonzalez Torres, who is a gay artist. And this exhibition is at David Sturmer. And basically what happened is that overnight the labeling was changed and no longer recognizes the fact that this work is a tribute to Gonzalez's partner who passed away from AIDS. This is really messed up. But the thing that happened is basically they changed it and they added a QR code, and that's their excuse for erasing it from the gallery text. Now, as someone that curates new media art and who has used QR codes, not many people use them. There are people who are interested and they will take them and scan them and see what happens and they'll read it. Other people will open it but never read it, and then anyone above the age of 45 basically doesn't really use them, even though it's been on the uptick because of all those QR code menus that we see now. But yeah, so this is bad. This is really bad, mostly because we are seeing the erasure of an artist and their identity and their history and their background and all these things, which I don't think we should be doing. In terms of what this means in the gallery, well, it makes it more palatable to certain groups, which may find offense or do something else, protest, things like that. Anyhow, so it's a they even emitted they wrote a statement about it, and they're saying like, well, we're not trying to erase this. Some people are arguing that they are. It's a very complicated thing. So what we hear is this is from their representative, and it says there's no obliterating Felix's biography. There's no desire to, no reason to, said Andrea Rosen, president of Felix Gonzalez Torres Foundation. And then she goes on and said, it is crazy how Felix's work continues to generate such meaningful and complex dialogue. Thank God. This is weird. It's just weird. And it's this erasure of people's identities and the meanings of the works. Because, well, it's already in a white cube, so that already means that it's devoid of context. But the text helped to bring some of that. And when you're curating, ideally when you have a work, it should speak by itself. But sometimes works need a little bit of a push, especially the more complex or more abstract things, which is what we're finding here. Anyhow, so I think this was a loss and a big L by David Zwirner. But well, people are noticing, and hopefully they don't make this mistake again. So that's our first item. But now let's move to our second one. So what's happening here is this is about AI. And we've already spoken about AI and talked about the damages it caused. Mostly when we spoke about it, we came to the conclusion that fine artists would be fine, which I still sort of stand by. But illustrators are really feeling the pain. And there's been a lot of protests because basically what's happened is AI networks have been fed artwork from artists that did not want their work to be used. And people are upset by this, understandably. I mean, it's not a cool thing to do. But that's not the silly or crazy or weird thing about it. What's really interesting about this situation is that when AI generates, sometimes it generates it with the artist's signatures. So you can tell whose influence it's taking from. There's also been this thing where an artist was kicked out of the platform because his art resembled AI art too much. The irony being, it's their work that's been fed into the network, and thus the AI is just copying and generating variations upon his work. It's complicated. But anyhow, so a group of artists got together and they are suing some of these companies in demand that their art be scrubbed and they be compensated and like copyright issues and all this, which is true. Like they're feeding it their copyright, and then the artists see nothing, and OpenAI and all these Midjourney and all these AI systems are profiting of it because you have to pay to get generations. So it's really bad thing to do to artists. Then that's not the only thing that's happening in AI. Other artists, what they're doing is they're trying to rope in Mickey Mouse into the fight. And that's going to get interesting. So what they're doing is they're feeding AIs a lot of Disney imagery, like the princesses and Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and all these Disney properties, in the hopes that they'll get to a point where the AI will, in fact, feedback or return work that's similar to Disney enough that Disney decides to sue. And that's going to be fantastic, in my opinion, because it's going to mess them up so much, so much. If one thing these companies cannot compete with is the behemoth that is Disney. But that's not all. Another development in AI art, particularly this time, is that at least in the US, it's been ruled that AI art does not have copyright protection. So what happened is this artist made an AI generated comic, and everything from the images to the dialogue has been generated by AI. And then he submitted it for copyright, like to register the work, and he's been turned down. But this is the cool part about that. The reason he got turned down is because of PETA, the people for the ethical treatment of animals. It's very complex, complicated, controversial organization, to say the least. I don't fully agree with their methods, especially their kill shelters. But in a rare win for them, you may have heard about this monkey that stole a camera from a photographer and accidentally took a selfie of itself. The artist tried to, oh no, tried. He had his hand right. He used it to publish it, to gain fame, like recognition stuff. And PETA decided to turn this into a fight. And what they did is they sued the photographer in the name of the monkey for copyright infringement. So what does this have to do with AI? Well, the ruling was that like the monkey had no intentions, that there's no artistic creative intention in the monkey. And I do agree with that. We do have certain artists, like there's this very famous 1970s monkey artist. Can't remember its name right now, but basically this art dealer would take this chimpanzee, give it paints. Oh yeah, sure, Pierre Poisson. So Pierre Poisson was this monkey, and this artist gave him artist dealer gave him paints, and the monkey would do things on that, and then he would exhibit them as this very reclusive artist called Pierre Poisson, and basically people were like, "Oh my God, Pierre Poisson is like the greatest French artist in such long time. His brushstrokes seem random, but they have so much intention. It's a monkey paint." And I hate this in a way because I hear these arguments constantly that, oh well, a monkey could do that, but yeah, no. But the point is, there's no intention. The monkey's just doodling. When a person tries to do these things, there's an intent behind it. There's a meaning behind it. But anyhow, so the point is, the monkey is not creating because it wants to create art. It's creating because it wants to eat, or it wants a treat, or it wants to like tickles or whatever. Um, so there's no artistic intention behind it. And this goes back to the other one, another monkey, go figure. So it was ruled that the monkey does not hold a copyright because it had no intention of creating a photograph, because it has no desire to create art. Like if you take a monkey and leave it in the jungle, it will not go out of its way to create paintings. And before you say like, well, yeah, it's in the jungle. Yeah, you can use things from the jungle. Like, let's be honest, it could use its own poop to write on a wall, or something, or doodle on a wall, but it won't. So there's no intention, and that was applied to AI, so saying, well, the AI has no creative output. The AI is not. It's not looking to create art. It's like a person behind it, but this person is using just letting the thing do its thing. So AI works don't have copyright now, or at least for now, which is hilarious because they're taking things. So it's just basically going all into the public domain, and that's gonna cause some issues down the road. I really like. I'm not opposed to AI art, but I am opposed to AI art as is. So just dumping whatever the AI gave you. Yeah, I mean, but what I think it should be used for is as a prompt, as a starting point for creating your own artwork. Like, well, I want to create such and such scene. You get an idea, and then you take it and use your skills, your abilities, your knowledge to enhance and grow it. Right. This is the same as automatic writing, or throwing a bunch of rice on a paper and then using that to start like the doodling or the creative process, but not as the final product. I think that's where AI art should go. I don't know if it will go there, but we'll see. So that's our second through like seventh points. So now we're gonna move on to this one, and this is a big one because it's an exhibition by Rafik Anadol. It's at MoMA, and I'm gonna be honest, this is crazy. So this thing it's animated, it's data, it's very much Rafik Anadol. We've spoken about him. Harshini likes him. I'm on the fence. Sorry about it. He It's data, and he just spits it out. And in this case, in particular, he fed it information from artworks that were available at MoMA. So I mean, you can see it if you kind of squint. This looks like oh my god, like a mural, right? Like cast some. Hold on, give me a second. So it has a look sort of like some of his paintings. You know what I mean? Like if you squint, you start to see something very mural, or maybe even something very Matisse. It's let's look at another one. See, this is very Picabia. Is it Picabia? Yeah, I think it's Picabia. It's a cubist, the fountains, um, which is a cubist work. Yeah, this is not cubist at all, but it gives you these feelings of like sketches of other works, which is basically what it is. And it's been called a very pretty screensaver, but it lacks information. And that's interesting because MoMA for a long time has been trying to avoid this association with formalism that we hear a lot of the time. And it goes all the way back to Alfred Barr and his schemes, like his diagram about art, which is very problematic. If you want to see something, it's like, okay, well, this is from his time, and go on Google. It's actually at MoMA, and just look at Alfred Barr's schema diagram of art. As a disclaimer, as a curator, it's problematic, but I can't avoid it. He was a really good curator. He was the first curator of MoMA, and he's pretty much like the grandfather of the white cube, even though he used beige because he didn't believe white was a good idea, and he used linen on the walls. Anyhow, he was brilliant. I really liked some of his exhibitions, especially his fundraising for the MoMA to get the building that we currently know. Basically, what he did is he did a salon hanging, which is basically floor-to-wall paintings, making sure to look crowded as possible, and people would approach him and be like, why are you doing this? Like, so you're the first person to were like against salon hangings because you said like it took away from the art. And he would turn around and say, funny you asked that. Well, he didn't say that. He would say, well, if I had space to hang this in the more appropriate way, I would. Hint, hint, give me money for the new museum, the new gallery space. So this is an exhibition that was fantastic because it used exhibition design and curation as a way to send messages. Anyhow, coming back to this is pretty much like a very sterile work, and that's what it's very formalist. And it's weird for MoMA to take a work like this now. That said, I like it. It's pretty. And the more I've been teaching and working at university, the more I've realized that we are abandoning aesthetics to a degree in like the very top end of fine arts. And at least in this in education, like we all want our students to be political. We want our students to be controversial, to push the envelope. But I think that we should allow for a space where it's just, well, not just, but where visual aesthetics and the attractiveness of the work are also important. So a little bit of going back to aesthetics. It's complicated, but I do think that we should be allowed to create pretty things with the secondary meaning in the back, but where our main intention is creating something beautiful. So that's the next that episode. I mean that article that I want to discuss, and then we go to this. So this is an exhibition at the Blanton Museum, as you can see. It's called Day Jobs, and oh my god, this is the most pro-capitalism thing ever. It's like, oh look, you're an artist, but you should slave yourself at another work, not because you're starving and we're not giving you money, but because it's good for your art or your craft. Like, there's nothing wrong with working as a waiter or as a photographer or an industrial designer, an accountant or something. I just recently met an artist in Mexico who's an accountant, and on the side she's this very famous artist, but she mainly works as an accountant. But this is not a flex. This is an indictment of a system that's broken. Yeah, it helps you, but like create with a different perspective. And you could do that without having to, have to find 2-3 works just to get the ability to create. Like people should be able to create without having to depend on backbreaking work. I mean, like, and it's respectable. This work, like waiters are necessary in our system of economy that we live in. people that do cleaning, people that do all kinds of jobs. And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is we're expecting artists to have these jobs and then also create and then show and then work in marketing themselves, all while holding these jobs. And that is evil, in my opinion. But yeah, so kind of a miss from the Branson Museum. I don't know. It feels like it's glorifying the gig economy in a way. And actually, they mention it. Let me show you. So, do I have it? Oh no, I don't have it. Okay, I thought I loaded this page. But yeah, so it's the gig economy, and you know how that is. Not a fan. Then let's go. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna talk about another thing. Now we're going into NFTs, and boy, oh boy, this is gonna be fun. So this is called Tonic, sorry. It's the new generation of blue chip artists here, and they're focusing on new media art. They're focusing on generative art, they call it, and it's NFTs. And it's like, why do we keep reinventing the wheel? So as we've seen, NFTs have gone in price like woo all the way down. Prices are not what they used to be. People are catching on, and mostly when we hear in the news nowadays is scams. Paul Logan versus CoffeeZilla. If you haven't heard of that, then read that. Oh my god, go on YouTube, Google CoffeeZilla, like coffee and Godzilla. Oh my god, that was oof. And well, so you have that. Then you have the collapse of NFT and FTX. Sorry, the collapse of so many different NFT trading spaces and Bitcoins and all that. Bitcoin has lost half its value, and still not being able to be used for anything except speculation. Um, the space is very, very disturbing to in a way. So now they're having their curator drop, and they're saying that it's a simplified version of NFTs. So their first show is going to be Stefano Contiero, I think. Yeah, it is. So here's what they're saying. Okay, so learn, collect, enjoy. So learn about the unparalleled artistic expression that made possible by the powerful combination of generative art and the blockchain. Okay, line number one. An NFT is not an artwork. An NFT is a receipt. Literally the equivalent of a piece of paper that says you own something. It's not the artwork itself. And NFT spaces, and this is why like you should be wary about this. NFT spaces don't tell you that you get the receipt, you don't get the work. Okay? What you get is a hyperlink, like when you click like a little blue thing and you go to a web page. So you get a link to a page where the artwork is held. What can happen and has happened is I can take out that image and put something else. What can also happen is this system dies because nobody buys it, or it becomes a scam, it's a pump and dump, or all many ways that these things happen, and the work disappears, and your NFT points at nothing, and you just paid thousands of dollars for a 404 error. So that is the problem. The artwork you're generating is generative. They are using probably AIs, which again we go. Are they just dumping data and just showing you the output? Because anybody can do that. Now that anybody can do. Like you just choose and toss things into it, which is the argument against Rafik Anadol. But okay, let's say you have this generative art, okay, and it's on blockchain. So collect. Be early to collect works from artists leading to the next generation of blue chip art and participate directly in a far more transparent art market. Doubtful. One of the most common scams in NFTs in the NFT space is I can't remember the proper name. It's a thing that's illegal in stocks, but it's not illegal in NFTs. But basically, I sell the artwork to myself or a friend to pump the price. So the next person that buys it thinks that it's value, like gaining value, and then well, it didn't really have that value because the thing with NFTs is that they're only worth as much as people saying they're worth. So if nobody buys it, it loses every single ounce of value. Okay. So, and then the transparency. So blockchain is not transparent. Like, it's not fully transparent. What it is pseudonymous. So there is anonymity as long as nobody tracks you. But we've seen how easy it is to maintain this anonymity with things like the scams with Logan Paul. It took like an investigative team and a lot of people to figure out how he was moving money around. But in this case, like, I can create 5 wallets, give them different pseudonyms, and as long as I'm very careful how I trade with them, you'll never catch on. Okay. So transparency, yeah, transparency, no, not really. It also flies on the face of the idea of what NFTs are supposed to be, because the idea of NFTs is that they're not centralized, but yeah, this is centralized. Okay. And then it says, enjoy, receive optional physical prints of your collection and come together with artists and collectors in our community to preview parties and extraordinary experiences around the world. So this is what they're calling added value or utility. This is what they're calling now utility, and it's this idea that they have to give you something tangible, because really the artwork is not enough. And the fact that they're admitting to this, it tells you that the artwork is more like a fancy entry ticket. It's like an entry ticket that they pay to an artist to design. What you're actually buying in any case would be the parties, okay, and the experiences. But what experiences? Do I have to pay to get to these experiences? Is this just like an admission ticket? What is this? Is the same thing that the monkeys or Bored Apes Club does. So basically, they're like, oh, we have these parties, and you go to the parties, and it's like the most. If you there's video of them, and it's the most sad thing I have seen in my life. But yeah, so let's see. I want to get to the bottom of this, literally. So these are the people involved, blah, 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 blah. And terms and conditions. Every time you go into an NFT space, you have to go here, because this is the fun thing. So each Tonic NFT is limited edition digital asset. Yeah, that's the definition of an NFT, I think. Let's get it all in there. Okay, there we go. Or includes certain artwork licensed to, owned, or created by Tonic. You acknowledge and agree that Tonic and its licensors, as applicable, own all legal rights, title, and interest in and to the artwork, and all intellectual property rights. Their intellectual property rights therein. The Tonic NFTs may also incorporate one or more elements of Tonic's trademark and branding. The brand, each Tonic NFT is a non-fungible token hosted on the Ethereum blockchain. No, the NFT is hosted on the blockchain, not the artwork. Ownership of which can be transferred through gift, purchase, or sale. The artwork is neither stored nor embedded in the Tonic NFT. Oh, they did tell you. That's good. But it is accessible through the Tonic NFT. Although, so yeah, it's a link. See, they tell you this, but they tell it in very sneaky ways. Although each Tonic NFT itself is owned by its then current owner. So let's pretend this napkin is the NFT. So you own this, and it says good for an NFT. Okay? The artwork embodied thereby and any brand incorporated therein or used therewith is licensed pursuant to these NFT terms and not transferred or sold to such owner. So you don't own the work, you own a link to the work. I hope that makes. I want to be very careful because not very careful, very clear about this. When you buy NFTs, you own this, not the work. This is it. Okay. So you don't have rights to the work. You can't make prints yourself. You can't show it to anybody, like charge for people to see it. Things like that are not allowed. So let's keep reading. And not transfer sold to such own. When you have to define own, you're already knowing that this is a scam. Means with respect to a Tonic NFT. A Tonic NFT that you have rightfully and lawfully purchased or acquired from a legitimate source. How are we going to tell this? The whole point is that, yeah, never mind. Where proof of such purchase or acquisition is recorded in the relevant blockchain. Yeah, that's what an NFT does. The rights that you have in the artwork are limited to those expressly stated in the paragraph immediately below. Tonic and its licensors reserves the rights in and to the artwork and the brand not explicitly granted herein. Let's keep scrolling. This scrolling thing is like really awkward because I'm using OBS. Okay, here we go. Licenses. Subject to your lawful purchase or acquisition of a Tonic NFT and your continued compliance with this agreement. So you have to follow the agreement or you lost your ownership. Yeah, which is kind of weird because how are they going to withdraw the NFT? Because unless you give it to them, they can't take it from you because that's what NFTs are. But anyhow, so basically what they would do is, I'm guessing they erase the artwork from their site, and again, you own nothing. Grants you a worldwide non-exclusive revocable, see, royalty-free license with no right to sub-license. So you can't license it to something else. To display the artwork and any brand embodied by your Tonic NFTs, solely for the following purposes. So this is the only things you can do. Anything else, and you get in trouble, or you lose your NFT and you pay thousands of dollars for it. For your own personal, non-commercial use, e.g., display in a virtual gallery on a mobile device, as an avatar, or in your home. Meaning, you cannot put it in an art gallery. You cannot do an art show. This is even worse than some other NFTs I've seen. Through or as part of a marketplace that permits the purchase and sale of your Tonic NFTs in connection with each potential purchase or sale, provided that the marketplace cryptographically verifies rights to ensure that only the actual owner can offer a Tonic NFT for sale. So basically, you can put it on OpenSea or any of those other markets. As part of a third-party website or application that permits the inclusion, involvement, or participation of your Tonic NFTs, provided that the website application cryptographically verifies rights to your only blah, 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 blah. So you can put it on a web page, like in a gallery web page, but obviously without charging, to access a certain limited features or exercise certain privileges on or through the Tonic website and or mobile applications. So the Tonic digital properties. So that's the parties and things. In each case, in accordance with functions such as Tonic digital properties may be modified Tonic. So they can change everything at their sole discretion. Meaning, they can be like, yeah, no, the party is only for 3 people, or no people, or no, we're not doing parties anymore. We're not doing this, and you cannot do anything. To access the features, communicating and offline services that may be made available. So they're not promising anything. From time to time, so it's not always. They can decide like, okay, you've been to too many parties, go away. And provides the Tonic digital properties on as-is basis. This list claims any warranty conditions, blah, 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 blah. So let's keep reading. With respect to Tonic that you purchase, that you continue to own such a restrictions. Okay, let's see the restrictions because this is just like a lease. Let me just really see. Okay, you breached this agreement with shall include requiring Tonic and then we not. So you stole the NFT. Good luck proving that. Or you engage in any lawful business practices related to. So a pump and dump, technically. In the event that you did not lawfully require Tonic or you terminate the license, Tonic may disable your access to the artwork and or brand or deny your access. So yeah, they just changed the NFT address. Like they create a new page, put it there, and then you can't access it because the digital receipt doesn't point to anything. Told you. Restrictions. You will not permit any third party to do or attempt to do any of the following. Okay, let's see. Modify, distort, or perform any other change to the artwork or brand embodied by your Tonic NFT, or embodied as a brand or trademark or advertise. So you can't do anything to it. You can't use it to market anything. Use the artwork by your NFTs and by images, videos, and so. I mean, you can't just put it. So if you put it in something like this, and I'm not in disagreement with this, the artist has the right to say, "Hey, you're putting this in the National Republican Convention, and I don't want it there." Absolutely fine. That's something you can't do. So you would lose access to this thing, which is kind of what happened with who was it? Some rappers and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Anyhow, sell, distribute, or commercial for commercial. Wait, what? Hold on. Sell, distribute for commercial gain, including without limitation, giving away in the hopes of eventual commercial gain, or otherwise commercialized merchandise. Oh, okay. I was like, what? so you can't make a T-shirt or stuff like that. Attempt to trademark, copyright, or otherwise acquire additional intellectual property rights in or the other brand. But so you can't go around find the artist and say, "Hey, I'll give you more money. Give me the property rights." Okay, use the artwork brand, but when you're not in connection with the defamatory, okay, sure. Oh, so what I'm doing technically, if they consider defamatory, and I bought one and I showed it and said like, "Hey, look, this is a scam," I would lose access to my scam. Otherwise, utilize random controlling commercial benefit. Okay, yeah, so I can't loan it to somebody else to T-shirts or stuff. And then transferring, you have to do it, blah 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 blah. So that's just the beginning, and I don't even have to go further than that to show you like how sketchy these things are. But this is not the first time, and again, reinventing the wheel. So we also have this thing. Okay, so I don't know if you ever heard of this. This is the La Colección. This is another NFT platform certified by the world's greatest museums. And oh god, boy, is it fun. Okay, let me interact with it. There we go. So they're selling comics now. This should tell you something. But I want to find something in specific. Okay, yeah, there we go. So this is what they started with, like the Turners and the Hokusai. So let's go here. So again, one of the link printers, blah blah blah. So you can go and buy one of these, right? So you can buy Poem and Kanke, or you can, let me take this going. This browser is not the best, but so I can buy this thing for 380 euros, which is about 0.2621 to, I think this is Teslas, don't quote me on that. This is not Ethereum, but okay, so Poem by Kanke. Okay, let's see if I can, yeah, I can do this. Okay, fantastic. So you go and you buy this, okay, it's I think you can choose it. Let's keep going, and then once you buy it, and you could sell it. Oh, it is Ethereum. Okay, my bad. Let's go to terms and conditions. And definitions, we don't care about that. Subject, purpose of this, blah, blah, blah. Keep moving. Access to the worldwide creation. Also, if you have to set up a wallet, you're already like expecting a lot of people to actually use like a third party, which defeats the point of a wallet. But okay. Description of the service, creation of an artwork. You're not creating an artwork, you're creating an NFT. A receipt, okay? Okay, yeah, this digital. So this is very sneaky marketing, because they're like, oh, we're creating an artwork for you. No, you're creating an NFT. And an NFT is just a digital contract, it's just a bunch of code, which, by the way, if someone makes a mistake on it, somebody actually wrote the wrong wallet, and every time they sell that NFT, the money goes to somebody else, and you can't change it because the contract is unalterable. So let me find with a description, blah 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 blah. Okay, let's keep moving. So the price, this is like blind auction purchases, or a fixed price, yeah, whatever. How do you buy the thing? How do you pay with it? Let's look at this. So traditional currency like ZB, Visa, MasterCard, via Stripe. The Colección provides users with a secure online payment service, blah, 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 because they're redirected. Or cryptocurrency, yeah. If the user has acquired hours sold by the collection, he or she may request an invoice. Okay, yeah, sure. The following varies on sales of fixed price. I don't care about that right now. Sale at the auction. Okay, this is just selling. No, but I want to go to the minting. Tax and social security, users liability, blah, blah, blah. Liability, because basically we don't have much liability. Intellectual property. There we go. So buying an artwork platform does not mean that the user becomes a holder of intellectual property right attached to the artwork. If the artwork relates to a physical object, the user has no rights of ownership in that physical object. The user is granted limited worldwide non-assignable, blah, 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 the same thing as the other one. So again, you don't own the work, you own the receipt that points to the work, and the La Colección eventually decides to take down their whole thing, you're gone. Good luck with your artworks. So you can't modify it, you can't market it, you can't do it. Sorry. So basically, they copy pasted. The other guys copy pasted this one. It's the same thing, literally. They just created one. So this is also fragmented the market because you have to buy one with one do the other, which is gallery system in a way, but it's fun. Okay, so they can withdraw your rights, but that's not what I wanted to show you. Allow me to create a new browser, and I'm gonna show you something. So let's see. Let's go Google, because otherwise it's gonna be a problem. Sorry. I need to create this live because I didn't think about this. Google https ://. Okay, and let me move this thing here, and let's make it big, and let's move it down so I can see myself. Okay, there we go. So let's go interact. Let's go British Museum. Let's go here, and let's go in here, and hello cookies, whatever. Let's go here, and then if you go here, this is a really good website, by the way. So you go here, and then I missed. Okay. Here we are. So let's search by all fields and the keyword. Can I? Oh, it's already working. Okay. Oh, it didn't let me. Wait, what did I do? Hold on. I'm hiding this. Oh, there we go. So let's go Hokusai. I hope I. So person, yes. And let's, while it loads, let me look again at the artwork we were looking at. Oh, I don't know if we can go back. Can we go back? No preview, no copies of color. I don't think we can. Well, but the process still stands. So let me show you. Let's find a work by Hokusai. There we go. So if I click on this, this is an album print. I don't know, I can't see the image, but let me make this bigger. Maybe it helps. No, it doesn't help. Okay. So you got all the information, right, in the British Museum, blah, 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 blah. You keep going down, and you have a link. So this already does what the link does. You can also print this information, right? But there's something else, and I don't know if I can see it here. But there we go. Use this image. So if I go here, I can download this image in high resolution with a attribution non-commercial share alike international Creative Commons license, which share alike basically means like you have to sound it put it as it is. But there is some things, and you can also use it for commercial purposes. And the licensing, trust me, is cheaper than what you get in the collection. So let's see what we can do. Adapt. Okay. See, we can share and we can adapt on their own website. The artworks that they're auctioning for La Colección, you can download for free. You can remix, transform, and build upon. You can share, copy, and redistribute in any medium or format. So I can print it out and give it to my mom, as long as I don't sell it to her. If I wanted to make a poster, I could go and contact them and say, I want to print 500,000 posters. How much is that? And they will negotiate with you based on so many things. How are people falling for this? I do not know. Okay, sure. No, but I want international web stuff, blah, 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 blah. Okay? We can do something else. I can do you one better. There's this place called Sedition. Sedition has been around since before. Wait, why is it not? Hold on a sec. Sedition. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, there we go. So Sedition has been selling digital art for a long time, and it's quite established. I actually own work here. I got it when they opened. It was for free. First of all, way more accessible. It's only $20. There's some more expensive stuff, but going from the 380 pounds or euros to $20, I mean, right? And it literally tells you you have your HD video, your edition number, your certificate of authenticity. This is an NFT without all the NFT nonsense. Yes, it's held by privacy by Sedition, but still, we've seen all the power these platforms have anyhow, the NFT ones, so it really doesn't change anything. So look, okay, fine. Paul Benny's Requiem is $3,750. Let's see what it is. Obviously, when you buy it, it doesn't have this thing. It's a digitally augmented painted by so this is one of the more crazy expensive ones, but you can see that, like, you can get it. Okay, fine, it's cool. And you see far more interesting things here, honestly, than just. And you can get generative work. The first one I showed you by Zara, she's called, that's generative. So there's no need for an NFT market. We've had them before. Yeah, now there's NFTs, okay? But can be transferred, but you buy it as the regular thing, okay? Fine. But look, most of the works you can get for real money, and you have your thing, you have your video, and you look at it on their platform and all that. It's the exact same thing. So NFTs are a weird thing, and these galleries like Tonic are not doing anything revolutionary. They're not reinventing the wheel. They're just reinventing the wheel over and over again, right? So we'll see how this works. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a pump and dump, which basically would mean like, oh, they up the prices and then everybody who has an edition that was in the thing, just gets rid of it. Now, how does this work? Well, basically, everybody involved in Tonic probably gets a free mint of the work, and so do influencers, artists, like maybe like an editor at a magazine or something, and then it gets like sold to everybody else, and because people are buying it because it's this new thing, Tonic, blah 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 blah, and they start with a big price anyhow, but they invested nothing in it. So it starts going 3,000, 5,000, 75,000, whatever it goes up to. As soon as they see the first dip or that the line starts to level, they dump their NFTs, and that drives the price down because everybody's selling. And that creates a run, and everybody gets panicky, and everybody tries to sell it because it's not going to be worth anymore, and then you have like dead. Anyhow, so that was the things that I really wanted to talk about with NFTs and all that. I do want to promote some things for Header Footer. We have a new exhibition called Metaphoto. It's about video games and screenshots and using video games not as the subject themselves, but as spaces, as virtual real spaces that are subject of photography. If you want to go look at it, you can just go to newmediacaucus.org. We're also working our new next exhibition with Morgan Green, who's a very cool, interesting web artist, which is something I haven't seen in a while. They do really cool things. Then we also have, if you go to Harshini's Instagram, you can find their work, their new thing they're doing in Berlin, which is like a curation and project and an event, and it's really cool, and I think a lot of you might find it interesting. And let's wish Constanza good luck on her dissertation and defense. And hopefully next time we see her, we can call her Dr. Constanza Salazar. Anyhow, with that, this was Rene. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next month.